Now we have switched over to the student view, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like to complete a discussion from the student side. So they would go to the same class of yours that they had been working in. They would go to activities and go down to discussions. They would find the discussion that you would be working on. In this case, we're working on the causes of World War I, and then they would click on it. So up here, if they click on More, they'll be able to see the details about the discussion. This is where they would be able to read the questions that you want them to answer. In this case, which event was the primary event that ignited World War I and why was it so significant? As well as your expectations for the discussion, where they have to create one original post and then they have to respond to 2 posts by their classmates. So in order to get started, they're going to have to create a new post. They would click on New Post, and then they will have this discussion post creator. They can click on discussion details and they'll have a reminder of what they're responding to, and then they will have the subject. I would recommend that they kind of summarize like the thesis of what they are going to be arguing, as well as include their first and last name, just so it's pretty easy to see who these responses are coming from. So let's go ahead and fill this out. They've got the subject, and so they might fill out the response where it's saying, based on the research and the learning that we've done in class, as well as the primary sources we've looked at, they might say that the assassination of Franz Ferdinand was the primary cause of World War I because it was the assassination of a political figure which had completely escalated tensions into and leading to the powers to come to war. In this case, we'll just put insert thoughtful response here for the sake of time. And another thing that they could do is they could attach a document from Google Drive. So maybe you were having them, in this case, you had them look at a primary source. They could maybe attach a PDF where they had annotated the reading. The entire class had annotated this. They could attach their annotations, and in their response they might say, pay attention to my annotations on paragraph 3 for supporting evidence for my point, or so on and so forth. And then they could do so. Again, just like when it comes to submitting the assignments, please note the difference between these buttons. Save draft will just save your discussion response as a draft, and it will not send it to the discussion board. However, we want to send it to the discussion board, so we'll go ahead and press post, and then we'll know that it has been received. You'll know it's been received when you see your response populate over here. And as more students replied, there would be a new thread. So in a class of, say, 27 students, you would have 27 new threads. A student would go to the thread that they wanted to reply to, and they could insert their comments here. Maybe something like, I like your thoughtful analysis because, and then they say something very specific. Or it could just be dependent on, what they say could be dependent on the expectations that you set forth based on your assignment criteria. And just like before, they can either submit it and it will send it directly to Haiku, or they can save draft if they wanted to come back to it later. So they'll press save draft, and then they're done. So that concludes how to create discussions as well as how students would submit discussion posts. So please let me know if you would like to know any more about this. Thank you.